Hey everybody, Dr. Caitlin here with Fit PT. Today I'm going to show you an exercise called a pelvic prop. This exercise is really a restorative exercise. It's meant to help you support your body, specifically your pelvic floor, in alleviating any extra pressure or tension or load that may be placed on it. So even for myself sitting here on the floor, if I'm upright, I will always have gravity kind of bearing down onto my pelvic floor, okay, right? Because our pelvic floor is this lovely group of muscles that I like to reference them kind of like a hammock. They hold everything in regards to our organs and our guts and all the important things in our abdominal cavity. Okay, so it's their job to sustain that load. Now, when you have a condition such as pelvic floor weakness or pelvic organ prolapse are some common ones, you may feel a sense of heaviness or pressure along your pelvis at some point in time. Now, sometimes that just happens randomly at the end of a long day. If you've been up on your feet, standing, sitting, working throughout the day, that can trigger that, or it may be triggered specifically by some form of exercise. So I have a lot of very active people that maybe I work with that are runners or strength training and weightlifting, and even those extra loads can put excess pressure and load down on that pelvic floor hammock. And so this exercise, the pelvic prop, is meant to help offload the pelvic floor and take away some of those heaviness and uncomfortable symptoms. So for this, I'm going to show you a couple different variations that you can easily do when you're on the go with very little props, or we are going to use a basic yoga block. You also could substitute with like a pillow or a folded up blanket or something, just enough to prop your pelvis up. All right, but I'm going to use a block for today. So I also am sitting next to my treatment table. So we're going to pretend that at home this could be a chair, this could be an ottoman, this could be your couch, your bed, whatever is an elevated surface. If you're at the gym, a box, a bench, or even a little step up from a treadmill can be a really great resource as well. So I'm going to lay my bottom next to my elevated surface, and I'm going to place my feet up on top of it. So for easy pelvic prop here, kind of one option would be just to elevate the feet. Now we have gravity eliminated from the pelvic floor. We're more so, working this direction instead of up and down against gravity, and it can offload your pelvic floor muscles. Gives them a break. It's like putting your feet up literally at the end of the day after you've been standing for a long time. That's what we're doing for our pelvic floor here. Now this is option number one. Now if you want to doctor it up a little bit, you could always add something underneath the pelvic region. So I have this block just sitting right at my sacrum, that area where the low back starts to meet the pelvis, and I feel really well supported here. So now all I've done is taken my body in kind of a flat position, and I've just propped my butt up a little bit. So now, not only are we gravity eliminated, but we're also gravity assisted. So now we have gravity kind of helping the organs or the other tissues of the pelvic floor to relax back up inside the body cavity where we want them to be. Nice and relaxing position here. Okay, so this is how we could doctor this up. I'd say this is kind of the full pelvic prop position that I recommend for patients. And I recommend that you stay here and relax and breathe for at least 5 to 10 minutes. You can do this every night. At the end of the day is a really great time, or after every workout. The other idea would be that if you have pelvic floor or pelvic organ prolapse symptoms, that heaviness sensation, the discomfort in the saddle region, this would also be an exercise I would say do when you have symptoms to eliminate them. So you should be able to lay here relaxing, doing your diaphragm breathing, listen to some music, meditation, whatever it is you like to do, and to entertain yourself for 10 minutes. I even have some clients tell me that they have their kids come and sit next to them and they do story time in this position, and mom or dad just gets to hold the book upside down a little bit. So that's another option. Okay, now if you don't happen to have the elevated surface near you, you could just put your feet down on the ground like a supported bridge position if you've ever done that in yoga. So you could keep the block in place and just put your feet on the floor with your knees bent like a bridge. And you could rest there in that position as well. Okay, lifting the hips up, removing the block. carefully rolling to a side and coming up from there. So that is the pelvic prop exercise. This is one I give out a lot to my pelvic floor people in dysfunction, and really actually great if you're newly postpartum. This is an exercise I even utilize with them preventatively. So as my clients are getting that eagerness to get back into fitness and exercise, and we're starting to challenge them a little bit, we always want to make sure that their pelvic floor is healing and progressing just as much as their physical body is. So a lot of times I will also recommend this as a preventative measure as we are getting back into exercise in that phase of life. I hope you all found this helpful. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to your Fit PT. We'll see you next time.